Hello everybody, and welcome to something new I'd like to start doing if I can. Essentially, I'm just going to be drawing today, but I thought I would take you along the artistic journey, I guess. Here we have Kashino. You may know them. If not, that's fine. It's just a simple portrait. I have a sketch already done. If I do another one of these, I may take you through the sketching process, because that's important, but I just thought maybe not to be egotistical, because my art isn't particularly of note or anything, but I just think it's interesting to look into the processes sometimes of what people do. So I thought I'd take you through. Now, for the style that I've been doing, I've been doing around a 1750 by 1750 canvas. I adjusted if maybe I just like haven't made it particularly wide enough or tall enough, because some people have like, they might have a hat or something that's particularly wide, or like a jacket or something that broadens their shoulders, or just a taller hat. You know, there's several reasons as to why you can adjust it, but generally I just want it to fit snugly into a 1750 by 1750. Just so the little line thickness kind of stays consistent. Do you see there? Top of his hair roughly touches the top, and it's a comfortable amount of leeway on the bottom. I also generally lower the opacity of the background. That's just because sometimes if it's an outline that's quite dark on the dark black, it can be quite hard to differentiate. You also don't have to outline your sketches. I just find it fun. I use a stabilizer. By the way, I'm using Krita, that's the program. It'll be different for everyone, but just fiddle around with it until you get something you're comfortable with. Oh, I'm drawing on the background layer there. You have to add another layer there. I can't show you that because my face cam's there, but alright, check. Let me drop it on the top. There we go. You don't get to see much, but that should work. Let me turn the music down a bit. It's a bit louder for me than for you, probably, but I just wanted to really be in the background there. Usually I'd watch a video or something while I was drawing, but I figured I might give it my full attention so I can really enjoy it. Again, what I'm mainly going to be taking you through here is just, I don't even really know. Think of this more like a stream, where I might not explain everything, but it's just here as background filler if you need it. I'll explain some stuff. For example, I'm just doing an outline in a dark brownish, but the thing with with a lot of like hardcore portraits, you generally want them to be a bit brighter in color. So instead of just going straight brown, I'll shift it towards more of a reddish pinky, in between red and purple, but quite desaturated. And obviously this is the outline, which I'm also doing colored, so I have to have it a lot darker. And you can only go so dark with it being desaturated before it just turns into black. So it turns into more of a burgundy, I'd say, at least in this case. You also have to consider how the different colors will play off each other. Because usually, if I'm drawing someone who has like let's say has red hair, I will, on the skin tones, really go into that purple. Because red and purple are a lot closer to each other. But if someone has golden hair, I'd stay more in the goldenish hues. I also don't really make an effort to stick on a certain color. I just set the base color as that. So like, say, we're not gonna go straight to it now because I like to get all the line out of the way first. But let's say we go to do the fill-in color. I'll just pick a mid-ish hue. Say this. I start from that. Then when I want to go lighter, I just click a bit up on the color wheel or down. But usually I go up for reddish. Click a bit down and left. Do that. Do that. Again. Do that. You want it to be quite a violent change in color, just because, again, it's quite cartoony. And then, obviously, just the opposite way for darker. So, although this looks like more of a red, I'd say, than a brown, when you put them against each other, you really, it'll look a lot more brown than you think once it all comes together. I just think that having a lot of contrast really helps it pop. That's my little advice for colors. Another piece of advice, just sharpen your lines usually. The brushes don't naturally come to an end when using like a mouse or something without pressure sensitivity, so you're gonna have to go back over and sharpen them. And yes, I am using a mouse. You can use anything really, like drawing tablet, iPad. There are many mediums. I just like to use a mouse because I'll be honest, I find drawing tablets quite unintuitive. I think with a piece of paper, you don't really get to feel that sense of direction. With a mouse, I'm already used to how the sense of direction feels. Like, pushing upwards goes up, pushing downwards goes down. And if I need to tilt it, then movement will adjust as such. Also sometimes, just with that mouse, sometimes you can't get an angle. Like, see I'm not exactly following the line. So what you can do is you can press, at least on Krita, 4 and 6 will rotate the piece. So you can have it at an angle which is easier to hit. Also, right here you might notice, it's not exactly a very straight line. There's a bend inwards and outwards. But that's fine, because a little bit of messiness actually helps your art, I feel like. Well, at least for me. Yeah, okay, a lot of what I'm going to be saying it like it's the fact. It's not really. Everyone has their own way, but this is just what works for me personally. This actually makes me look like such a fucking arse, I just realized. I'm mainly doing this because I thought I've been drawing a lot, and it would be nice to share it. Instead of just cooping up in a little goblin cave for like an hour and pumping it out. But it's different for everyone, because some people have a lot more, like, how do I say this? The styles are a lot more rigid. And it's not a bad thing, but it's just, like, there's a lot of straight lines where it's just like actually straight lines, not just like an approximation with a pen tool. Like if we take this part of the line right here, it looks straight, but if you actually look closer at it, it's not straight. But some of them are just like straight up. Straight up straight. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's just everyone figures out what works for them. And personally, I like a bit of fluidity. Please don't take this though as I'm gonna go do this exact thing. Really just test everything out. Practice is the key if you want to get good. Not even just practicing portraits, like drawing a shit ton of portraits. For me, one time I just kind of sketched out a couple like hyper-realistic-ish faces, so I could get a better idea of how like light hits the face. I'll come back to that later. Keep that in the mind. This is gonna be so shit, by the way, to come back to if I like pursue art. I'm probably not gonna. I like drawing for fun. I don't want to make it anything serious. I'm fine with the level that I'm at, and I don't particularly try to pursue like a high level. But if I come back to this in a year and I'm like if I've done a significant like work on my style, and I come back and I look at this and I'm like, look at this pretentious ass fucking dickhead talking like he knows what he's doing. Cause I don't really know what I'm doing, but I couldn't tell you what I do. Why I like what I do, really. But I like it. And sometimes you don't gotta know why. After all, it's a hobby. Don't need to take it too seriously. I was considering just doing a time-lapse. Then I thought, it's not really that interesting. Granted, my ramblings on probably aren't that interesting either, but I figure that's me adding something of my own to it. I also just kind of miss sitting in front of a camera and talking, because some people may be more familiar with it, but I kind of took a step out of the old community, because I kind of realized, bro, I don't fucking like anything that you have to do to win orgs. Like, it's all really fucking icky to me. I don't like it. But just doing video comps and kind of sitting in front of a camera and just rambling on about random bullshit. That was quite cathartic. Yeah, it looks good. Kashino's hair is actually a bit more orange, I'd say. Instead of a reddish brown. That's too light. But yeah. I'm not really planning on coming back. But I feel a bit bad about just kind of stepping out. But I think that a lot of people, they look for the perfect opportunity to do something. Well, I should not say a lot of people, because it's me. I look for like, oh, I should leave after doing this. Or I should have like a final stand. It's like, if you're not happy doing it, just get out. Don't bother making an exit content. Because I have content brain. Look right now, look at what I'm doing. I'm taking something that I do for fun, and I'm converting it into some form of content. However simplistic and low effort it may be, I'll make it a content. I don't think other people had that kind of issue. It's more just, I don't know. If you don't enjoy something, don't do it. As long as there's no other reason to do it. If it's your job and you have no other, well, even if it's your job, if you're miserable, I don't know. I can't give you advice on that kind of shit. But for simple shit like hobbies, if you're not having fun, don't bother, or at least don't get too invested. And this shit does sound corny as fuck, but sometimes you forget even the like simple dumb shit. I didn't need to do that, but ooh. Oh shit. Right there. Yeah, cut that off. Don't be afraid to erase part of a line and redraw it. And then just do a little bit of work on this to get it to connect smoothly. And now look. Somewhat visible, but again, small little imperfections make it what it is. I'm like a discount Bob Ross. I didn't realize how long drawing took. This is 15 minutes worth of work. Shit. I might need to get a new background jazz playlist up. Because I'm pretty sure this one's only like an hour 30 long. The Binju Bongin trick. It's not designed for fucking movie-length videos. Wait. Oh, shit. Should not have done that, but that's fine. Usually I'd be like, okay, just erase the line, or like control, undo it, and redraw it, but I'm lazy, so I'll just make it work. Usually want every single thing that's kind of like on a different layer. Well, that was what I was gonna say. It sounded dumb. Everything that's on like a different layer should be on a different layer. So the like fringe that's above the head, below that is, as I said, the head. That's the fucking Troom Troom show or some shit. But below that is like the back of the hair. I also put the little fucking flick back here. But also above that, but below the head is the neck. But you could probably merge some of these. I just think that I have a system that works. There's no harm in, you know, an extra layer here and there. Whatever. She has a blue scarf. Quite a sky blue. Yeah, there we go. For like scarves and collars, or just things that go around the neck. Yeah, like a hood on a hoodie. I like to do one line that kind of goes a bit past, and then one behind. Do it on the same layer. That's probably not smart. And there we go. This kind of gives the illusion that it wraps around. But if you're wondering how I picked who I was drawing today, I've been just... Oh. Yeah, okay, that's a... See, the scarf would be above the neck but below the hair. Wait, no, that also wouldn't work. So sometimes I'll feel afraid to just, like, erase or whatever to make it look like it's been a thing if you don't give a shit. You know, take the easier way out. Sometimes it doesn't really matter. Who gives a shit if it's right? If it looks right. But I've been in a Discord server and I've just been... It's one of those things where you react and I'll put you on a fucking wheel or whatever. Well, I'll put a little inside secret here. If you comment a Discord tag or some shit, so I know who the fuck it is, I'll put you on the wheel. Just because, I got like 33 reactions. I'm planning on burning through all of them, and it would be nice to... As people, because I know some people, well, there's some people who I know better who aren't in the server, so if one of those people you think, reply. And if you aren't, but you think you are, and you comment, I'll call you a silly ass motherfucker and expose your ass. Nah, I'm playing. I don't really give a fuck. I'll draw whoever. I'm just... It's you know... It's something I can indulge in without feeling like I'm wasting my time. Because there's an outcome, which is... People get art they presumably, you know, like. I'm gonna need to pull up Kashino's reference again. I'll do that on my phone, though, just so I don't disturb the flow. Where the fuck is that bastard? Okay. I think I would be beige-ish. See, here's another thing where I should have done a layer. This part on the back it's gonna go behind the, like, I don't know, you'd call it like a throw here, but this part will go above it. You should be more resourceful than me. I am being dumb and lazy. But sometimes, if you are doing something just for the hell of it, you can be a little dumb and lazy. It doesn't really matter. I don't know how... Well, I am talking quite a fair bit. Probably not that much. But I didn't realize how much... Nah, that's low. See here? I think where I want his shoulder to be would be off the canvas, so... As I said, you can change the size of the canvas a bit. I also remember saying earlier, I would say something where it's like, I'm going to come back to this. I don't remember what I said, so I'm not going to know when to call it out, but I will probably say something related to it. But, yeah, I don't want height, I want width. That's just, oh shit. That's way too fucking big. Oops. There we go. And instead of increasing the canvases again, remember we added 100 pixels, but the way Credo works, it'll just add 50 to each side. So what we can do is we can offset the image, also in recess canvas, by let's say like 30 pixels. Wrong way. So by negative 30, but we've already added 30, so that's negative 60. And there we go. It's on the canvas. Other side still cleanly fits. You kind of want them to... I think for Kashino, quite a laid-back man. So, I'll have the shoulders slope off more gradually. That's another thing I try to do. I try to, like, focus on the personality. Some people, like, the kind of... How do I say this? Some people are more reserved. So I usually try and have their... Well, I think most hardcore people are probably, like, a bit reserved in nature, I'd say. Just, they're on Discord, of course, you know. I assume a lot of people aren't loud in personality. I'm phrasing myself very poorly. What I'm saying is I don't think a lot of people are, like, forward posture. I think that a lot of them kind of lean back a bit. Or at least the personality that they choose to portray in portraits goes... It's expressed more with a lean back. If I bring up the one that is me, you can see all the ones I've been working on. Actually, it's not in this folder, so I'm not going to dig around my folders, because that seems like a... Not a bad idea, because there's nothing, like, illegal or weird. Well, there's weird shit, but it's not like NSFW, it's just a lot of various images that I wouldn't really be able to explain, and would leave a lot of questions. But yeah. Essentially, though... Actually, it's my Twitter fucking, like, thingy and my Discord PFP. It's a lot more lent forward, because I was focusing on that kind of... How do I say this? Like, sleazy businessman with like, stupid fucking spectacles, right? So it's like... Ooh, let me... It was like... Right? And I think that is a lot more forward, because it's not, per se, confident. Because I think you can have a laid-back posture with confidence. But kind of like... cocky, I'd say. At least that's what I was attempting to go for. heard something. Alright, time to do the face. I'll be honest, the pen thickness on the sketch isn't similar to the line thickness. Which usually doesn't matter, but on the eyes, where like they're a smaller a feature than say the hair, it's rather noticeable. You see? Looks rather different. Is there a lot thinner? It'll work out when we add the irises, but I usually do the facial features last. Not that there's some sort of order you have to fulfill. Just cut a bit out. Usually I don't have the nose overlap the eye so heavily, and I just kind of have it like push it out the way. But I'm feeling a bit lazy, so. And remember, messiness isn't inherently bad, you know? That's something I've learned doing baking and art. Be messy. Speaking of baking, I bit the pain au chocolat. Shit was messy. I'd pull up a PNG, but this is supposed to be a very easy to produce video, and I really can't be arsed. But yeah, they didn't turn out beautifully, but it's fine. You learn from the process, and I learned that, I don't know what I learned. But I learned something, probably. It'll come to you once you, like, try it again next time. As most things do. Okay. Here's another little dinner gaming tip. You see I shaded everything the color that it is. Skin I do in a purple, because you go from, like, a yellowish to a red. And what would be even darker? The gums of the mouth. So we actually go into, like, a purplish pink, I'd say. Looks a little goofy. Better sight. Oh, I think I just forgot some out. No. I just very messily erase these lines, just because I'm really simplifying the shape of the teeth. I don't really try and give any indication of singular teeth other than the break between the two. No gums. I think that's way too detailed to be putting into a cartoony style. And I'm lazy. I don't give a fuck. And that works. What color are Kashina's eyes? I think they're green. Yep, green. Okay. Nope. I'm very bad at eyes. It takes me a lot of tries to get it right, but there's no rush. This isn't speedrunning. Oh my, I'm almost at 30 minutes, and I've almost just got the line art done. Is this the coloring took last time than I thought? Because I thought that it generally takes me like an hour 30, maybe. And I thought that the line art would only take like 10 minutes of that. Usually. Yeah, it looks good. Yeah, it works. Oh, we need to do the ear. Forgot about that part. Piss. There we go. Yes. Ears. The inside of the ears are weird. I can't comment on them much. I think it's one of the more uncomfortable parts to do in a cartoony style. I would actually recommend not doing the inside of the ear. I think it's too messy and noisy for it to work. But I'm stubborn, and I've already drawn like 5 of them with the ears, so I can't be fucked for not. I'm out of water, but that'll be fine. I'm not running a mile. Eyebrows. Oh my god, I have used very few layers. Eyebrows, I just draw really... Oh, I deleted the layer. Really thick. Layer above everything else. Even the expression. Just because I think that it's easier. There's no harm in having like a separate layer for the eyebrows and then the rest of the expression. If it's just easier to do. I've stressed that. Well, I've said that several times in this video. Just do it. Take the easy route. It doesn't matter. It should not be about doing the right thing. Just whatever feels right. There we go. We're gonna need to clean up. Yeah, right there. So it looks like it's overlapped. It's not, but it looks like it. So it'll work. I might actually clean that up a little bit. Yeah, that looks better. Oh, that goes under a little bit. That'll happen a lot. You just have to pay attention. I'm sure there's things you can do to fix that, like, say... Actually, this is another piece of advice. Put gray. Once you've got your line art done, so you don't need the sketch, just put a big layer of gray behind everything. This just means if you like color outside the line, it'll be a lot easier to see. It's just also nicer on the eyes, I'd say. I'm sure... Say, this leaks past a little bit, like there. And you don't notice it at first. That is Trim. Holy shit. I just found out that they fucking use stock jazz music from YouTube. What you can do is you could... this is like alpha clipping, which means that you will draw, but it won't go over any... It'll kind of like stick to only line that you've done. That's a little useful thing. You can do that to recolor the line art if you think it's like if you think it needs to be a bit darker or lighter or something. You can highlight the whole thing in green. That way it pops more. And then, oh look, here we have the overlap. And then you can go and erase it. And then just make sure you have the other color like saved somewhere. So like just like maybe leave a little bit at the corner. So you can color pick and replace. Speaking of which, a little bit of advice. Usually after like I erase something, instead of going all the way up here and clicking the button again, I'll just color pick the color I'm using already. That's just quicker and easier. That only really works if you're doing cell shading, I'd say though. So, yeah. Okay. I'm gonna be a bit more. I'm gonna be giving some of my secrets out now because that usually comes in the shading. First of all, is the highlight on the eye. Oh shit! I've just noticed that I have fucking. Where is that? Now for the highlights of the eye. I just do. Well, I do something very close to white. And then similar-ish to the color of the eye. Or like, just what the general like main prominent color of the thing is. Because, you know, I know he has a purple shirt, blue scarf, a beige-ish, like throw, obviously skin-colored skin, and brown hair. So I don't think there's a dominant color really. So I'll just do what's dominant-ish on the eyes, which would be the green. So like a frosty mint. I know it veers quite deeply into the blues, but if we're shading green, let's say like from here, to go lighter, we go towards blue. And to go darker, we go more into those yellowy greens. You see? So, lighter would be blue in this example. And here's my little secret, my little trick. You're gonna want to click on the layers button. Here you have a bunch of different kinds of layers. Click screen. This kind of gives it the illusion of it being more like of a highlight. So, you'll see this more once we've actually colored behind it, but like, say for example, I just do like a blue, and then like a lighter blue. You can see very faintly behind it the difference. So just kind of, it makes it seem less like flat. It gives it a bit of depth, I think. We're gonna go into the eyeballs now. Or just the eyes, I think. For like the white of the eye? No, that's for eggs. The not iris or pupil? Fuck me. Just the white part of the eye. Instead of shading it white, I like to shade it a very, very light color. Again, as I said earlier, we're talking in like greens and blues, so I'll go for a light blue. Because I think a light green on the eye would make them look kind of sick. So, blue would work better here. Or blue works better here. And then we can actually use white as a bit of a highlight. Now, I'll just roughly do like this. Smooth it over. I might delete that part because it might interfere with the darker colors. But for now, I'll just leave it there. I just realized I missed a little bit here. Oh. There we go. Nothing on this side, okay. And there we go, darker. And bluer. You can go either way, by the way. Don't make it seem like, oh, okay, if you're going green, you have to make it lighter in the bluish tones. Or if you're going red, oh, you have to go dark and purple, light into yellow. You can go either way. It's just, I picked up patterns. I think for blue, you can go either way, actually. But for me, I have, like, kind of patterns where it's like, okay, this is what I do for the skin. You know? Because you could technically make skin go into more of a greenish hue, but then it looks sickly, I'd say. There we go. So, draw the inside of the eyes. I will say, I haven't done this before, but I actually think that kind of having the darkest one go in. You see how we only have the second darkest one touching the third darkest one, not the lightest one. I think you could say fuck that with the darkest one. Because this kind of is representing like the general shadow, but this one is just the harsh ones, which can kind of be less soft, so there's more contrast. I'm explaining it poorly, but yeah, so the process. Usually I wouldn't go to this next, but we can just get the eyes done, because I think that's intuitive, but it's just not what I do a lot of the time. Usually I get everything colored in first, and then I go to the things, but the eyes I do immediately, because I feel like I should. Just because with the eyes, because they're so small and there's only like 4 or 3 colors per each part, I kind of just don't bother with grouping layers. Instead, I'll just use the alpha clipping thingy. So I'm gonna remove the highlight just to make it easier. I go on a very small brush and then I pick. I go really harsh here on like the contrast. It's a little bit too harsh. That's not harsh enough. That's perfect. And then I'll color in the top like third-ish, but to add a bit more pizzazz, I'll kind of dither it with lines, I guess. There's no science to this. But we're just gonna make it messier. This looks kind of shit. That looks very messy, but it'll work. Because again, messiness is sometimes what you want. There we go. A little simple on that one. Also, I'm torn between shading dark on the bottom and dark on the top, but I've just been doing dark on the top for a bit, and I think I like the way it looks. Do whatever you prefer, though. So there we go. Oh, that's what I didn't do. I didn't do one large dark streak. I just did a bunch of smaller light streaks. There we go. That's better. Okay, there we go. Really a lot lighter. There we go. Wait, shit. There we go. You want it to look unplanned, I think. There we go. See? I also do the teeth on the same layer, so let's get this out the way. I'll just reuse the colors from the eyes, because they should realistically be similar. Although I probably should have the teeth be a more purplish reddish hue. Yeah, why not? I'm gonna do a very simplified version of the teeth, because usually the way I do it is really... It's similar to the eyes, but you have to not only account for the left to... the dark on the left and the dark on the right in the middle, but also the teeth, like the side part, which I find rather time-consuming and frankly a bit boring. A lot of people seem to find facial expressions the most fun part. Personally, I prefer shading the hair. And just the hair in general. The hair is very nice to draw. There we go. Something simple. That'll work for that, and then go darker, more purple. Yep. not really sure what I'm doing here, but the teeth are very small, so any messiness will be a lot harder to detect in the actual finished product. Looks like flames. Not like goated, but like fire. There we go. And then one. Last one. Go a lot hard. Oh, that's a bit. Not actually. There we go, yeah. This one. Well, we'll still actually keep some of that messiness in there. But the messiness will be a lot easier to see because it's so much. There's so much more contrast. There we go. Now, let's just get the skin in there. For the rest of these, I'm not gonna shade them one by one. I'll do all the colors, the flat colors, and then I'll add the shading. I'm gonna be real, for the skin tone, I just kind of eyeball it. Yeah, around this range. Around this area. I can't really describe it. And just put it down, and if it looks right to me, it looks right. That usually looks about right. I kind of want to go more pinkish, because I think that looks nicer. So there we go. If you're doing, like, portraits with dead and alive, in danger, whatever, make sure you go over the mouth area. In fact, actually, once you've drawn your expression, I would recommend just turning off these layers. Like, just doing that. Because the eyebrows, they may mess with your hair shading. And then when you have a different set of eyebrows, it'll look weird. Pardon me. Same with the mouth. It might be a bit messy to correct. So just keep that in mind. How far are we into our... We are halfway through our jazz video. I'll make it work. Alright. A lot of the technique I'm doing is because I'm using mouse, so instead of like scrolling around, I zoom in, zoom out, zoom in, zoom out. A lot of this, again, I don't think it's the correct way to do it, but it's just kind of a habit that you'll pick up as you go along with it. So we got skin done. Let's do hair. I actually want Kashinos to dip more into the orange-ish. It'd be a bit darker, maybe. No, it's too saturated. That's it. There we go. It's the trim part. I've fucking... Ooh, okay. Also, a little trick for you. I just... First thing I do when, like, shading anything is just go to, like, the parts where there's these crevices and just get them filled out, you know? Because then what you end up with is something you can go over with much quicker with just a really large brush. Look. This circular brush kind of inherently fits into these much larger, smoother parts. But it doesn't really fit so well into the crevices. So once you get those out the way, you can just go over it with one of the large things and fix it up. That little bit of hair, we'll go over that once you've got the rest done. Because it's going to require a smaller brush. And there's no point in switching back and forth. We may as well just get all we can done with that before going to the finer thing. Think of it like a sanding, using sandpaper. You know, you want to start with small grit, go to large grit, but sometimes there's exceptions to that. Now, if you want to test to see if you've got anything that goes out of the line art, or just like you have any missed spots, we'll do a little trick. Alpha clip it. It looks like nothing. And you want to see if you missed something on the inside. What's the opposite of this? Like a super bright blue. So let's... I see no blue peeking through, so we're good. And then we'll do his scarf. It's below the thingy. This is a bit too dark. I hope that the people who are watching this are enjoying it. If no one's watching it, then that's fine, because I have put barely any fucking effort into this, but I do hope that people are interested in the art. Actually, no, it wasn't too dark before. Yeah. Maybe the line art is too dark. We could fix that, but I think it'll be fine. Oh, wait. I forgot it's a purple shirt. Also, if you use a different art program, and you're wondering how, like, any of the things that I'm saying apply to that, I can't tell you. Just look around, mess with all the functions, try to figure out what they do, and I'm sure you'll figure out a way to use them. Just make sure you're having fun with it first. Oh, trimmed a little bit too much off there. Now, there's no lineup because the purple is beneath everything, so we can just kind of eyeball it. But I kind of want it to be a similar-ish thing to everything around it, so I'm going to go for like a lilac. Let me look at the reference. It's quite a deep purple. There we go, like... I like that. So, oh. That's kind of what it's looking like. It's very light. Yeah, it is very light. Well, I'm sure the shading, it'll change a bit. If not, we can just change the colors. There's no biggie. It's no biggie. Well, let's start with the skin. Oh Oh yeah, I remember earlier I said I drew skulls to figure out the face, kinda. Okay, let's start with the area around the eyes. It's kind of concave, like your face goes in around the eyes. But the nose sticks. Hey, look at this. Sticks out. It's not flush with the face. Big shock. I don't know if it's coming up on camera because I can't look at the thing and be sideways at the same time, but I hope that was shown. So you're gonna kind of want to, on the middle part, make it look like the nose is coming out the face a bit. On the sides, you just want to, you also want to kind of have like a shadow cast, just because I think there's more you can play with that way. So like, around that much. I probably put way too much on, but that's because I like playing with the shading. And so that's the area around the eyes. Well, we'll go layer by layer. Because I always do like, essentially these are the areas that are visibly dark at all, you know? So that's the area around the eyes, and then we go on the side here. That's where the, well, I don't have much of a jawline, but that's where the jaw kind of goes in, like that. If I push it in, you can see it around this area. So I like to kind of accentuate that a bit. And then the ear, all that, because the light source is going to be coming from like here-ish. That's, you can see that in the eyes, kind of, with the highlight. So everything to the right is going to be a bit darker, generally. Okay, next layer. A bit darker. A bit more. Well, actually, I really like amping up the contrast on the skin tones, because you can get some really nice pinks in there. The hair, fun fact, casts a shadow. That's the most basic thing I think you should be covering. Nah, I don't want to erase. I'm just going to fill that in because that's a bit darker. We're going to want to just do a little bit of a concave there. That's because we want to leave this part mainly on... Well, actually, we can just erase it right now. We want to... Where the cheek is, the face goes out a bit. So you want to kind of add a bit of a shine there. Which is just a comparative shine. You don't always have to make the highlight a highlight. You can just make it lighter than the surrounding area. Same on this side. I usually do this as I go to the highlights, but I gotta just go back and erase a bit. But we can do it right now. Why not? So we also want this to kind of like do that, but it's a bit larger a space. I will be real, on the jawbone thing, I don't really know how to smoothly transition it, because I don't think the whole thing should be dark. So I usually, like, cut it off there. And let the rest go. It'll look better when we add the darker layer above that, but for now it's just kind of how it looks-ish. Just the very bottom of it is light. I don't know why. My ear shading isn't that good either. As I said, it's very messy and not as pleasant as the rest of it. Okay. Here's the final layer. Well, the final dark layer. There we go. Really deep crimson. Not crimson, not, like a magenta? I don't fucking know, mate. We're just gonna want to really, because the rest has been quite, it's gone quite far. You really want to make sure that the hair and its shadow is more visible. You can also add a little contrast here. No, that's not it. What is it again? Something like that. I kind of forgot what I was doing, but... Like... We're an hour. An hour mark. We made it. Maybe like that. I think it looks kind of shit. That'll work though. And then we just kind of shade the whole ear and then we erase a bit back. Like that much. But then because the inner ear is a lot darker, we do that. And yeah. I actually like to put a little bit like that in. I don't know why. It's just a habit. I actually think this can go way further back. There we go. And then we're just going to add a couple highlight. Oh, one thing I forgot. I always put a little bit of a dash underneath the mouth. And then this is the highlights. I'm going to go a lot lighter. Because the normal skin tone's already quite light. So you really need to go light for it to show. We put a little bit here. And then a bit on the nose. It's not on. Well, on the nose in this sense is just about where it is, but it could also be on the nose way of saying it's on the nose. But yeah, just kind of have it curve with the nose a bit. I like doing little 2 parts. Second part smaller. I like to add a little bit more on the cheeks. There you go. And that's the face. I think that I definitely overdo it a bit, but you can definitely take it a lot simpler. But that's what I've kind of. Those are the things I picked up on when I was doing the skulls over and over again. Were the cheekbone. The ear being a lot messier, but I didn't really understand how, so my interpretation is quite shit. And yeah. And then I was watching, I kind of fucking doom scroll like YouTube shorts sometimes, and there's a fucker on there, and his shit like always has these really, really nice deep purples on the skin tones. So it's kind of what I took from here. Anyway. It's hair time. Hair! I don't really fucking know, man. I do the same thing where I go darker and then thingy in tone. Ooh. It's a bit too intense. It's a bit too light. Just right. I kind of just have it. Oh no, that's too dark again. That's better. That's perfect, actually. I kind of have it curve with the hair flow that's already kind of established by the line art. I know it sounds like bullshit, but it's the only way I can think to describe it. I also do that thing that I did with the eyes and the teeth, where you kind of have bits curve off to add the impression of like singular hair strands. I think at least. Just it's messier, so I think it warrants these kind of like bits that cut off and flourish. There we go. Don't be afraid to do your main line art messy, because you're going to be cutting it quite a bit off to make it sharp. It's the Troom Troom song. Sorry. Yeah, that'll work. As we go. These little bits just, I don't know. Shade them as you please. I haven't figured it out, I just kind of treated it like a little mini hair in the corner. And then we just go darker. Repeat the same thing again. This time we have even more like established things to go off of. I'll tell you what, this jazz music's got me real sleepy, bro. Once this recording's done, I'm gonna take a nice nap. And by nap, I mean, go to fucking sleep, because it's 1:30 a.m. There we go. I'm doing a very messy style with Kashino's hair, but I think that makes sense, because his hair, it's not messy, but it just looks nice. So you've got to know about it as dark as I think we can realistically go. Any darker, it'll be darker than the line art, which just generally doesn't look great, so I'd recommend avoiding that. I do like this actually quite a bit. There you go. I might change this color a bit. I think it's a bit bleh. That's better. I don't know why it's better, but it just appeals more to the eye. Can't describe everything, but I can do, and that's what's important. Oh, I haven't been explaining how I've been doing the. Okay, let me move my face now for this. Welcome to the teaching tips about the layers. Cool. I don't fucking know. Fuck off. Essentially, the layers. We have our base layer here. That's the first thing we did, just, you know, getting it in the area with the hair. What you want to do is you want to right click on your layer, click group, and then you can do either group or clipping group, but essentially what you will have then is a layer with just the bottom thing. And then what you could do is you can add a layer on top of that with the button here. Oh, it'll be something else. And this layer to begin with, it'll just be a normal layer. It won't have any sort of like correlate. It won't do anything essentially with the bottom layer. But when you click clipping, the clipping group, alpha clipping button, that means that all of a sudden this layer. Well, let me show this example. This will go over the hair, right? It's not bound to it. But when I click the alpha clipping, oh, my head is covering it. When you click alpha clipping, it'll snap to it, and anything that's not on the hair won't be visible. You know, that's the same for the skin and everything. So that's how you use groups. And yeah, that was my little tip. But let's get back to what we was doing before. I'm really... I don't... I'm not very well versed in actually, like, a lot of the software things. Like, I don't really know what I'm fucking doing with the software, but I figured out what works for me, which is all I need to do. I'm not going to be great at explaining that, because I think there's other people who you can go to on advice about software. I'm not the first guy to ask. I'm not the first guy to ask about anything, actually, on art, but I am a guy who has time, and has been using that for art, so I may as well show a little bit. I really like that, but I don't want to just have it be like that, because I need more shading everywhere, and that looks messy. That works. Here. Yeah. By the way, look at this. Actually, no. That looks like shit. No. I'm struggling with this color. Fuck. Yeah, it works. So look. If we, like, actually look at this color in isolation, that's kind of an ugly color. Like, it's grayed out, it's kind of... It's not very saturated, it's not very bright, and it's just... It's kind of plainish, you know? But when you put it in the context of everything else, it pops. And it's a lot nicer. It looks a lot warmer. That's what contrast does. Not every color you pick has to be pretty. They just have to be pretty in conjunction with each other. Like a lot of the colors here, I don't think are particularly nice on their own. Like, but in conjunction, they really complement each other. And there's certainly websites you can go to which will pick colors for you, but I don't know. I just prefer really going with, you know, the move a little on the slider, move a little on the thingy, new color, and just doing that. Just works nicer for me. But if you like the other way, good on you. Do whatever works. I like it on the corner. I'd say that's done-ish, but I would like to add one more layer on top, which really brighter. Just a little bit of shine. There we go, that's the hair. Now the clothes. I got no fucking clue what I'm doing. But they're not the focal point usually, and they kind of blend into the background, and it's less noticed. So, yeah. I gave him a lot of space for his the torso part, the small part of it that I show. Usually I don't show this much. But I thought, I don't know what I thought, but I gave him quite a bit. First we should go with the scarf. I'm just gonna do simple, like, on the teeth, but without the messiness. Just as you go to the sides, darker. This is in the back, so generally that's gonna be darker. Here on the torso, it'll be a little bit of shadow, but I think I wanna have it like that. Just go darker. Just push this even more. Oh, that's a bit too dark. Yeah, it's better. See here, I noticed that I can't actually go darker. So what instead I'm going to do is go lighter by erasing a bit. Well, there one, yeah. So we go. Okay, right here. Really, I can't explain much on this because it's just I'm picking shapes and things and running with them. Here, I don't really want to go any lighter in shades, so I'm just gonna stretch it out by leaving gaps. Maybe. A little streak there. There we go, I think that works. Your scener does have text on his scarf, but I can't fucking be asked. Fuck you. Oh, okay, my projection was rightish. Because I think by the time we get done with these two, we are going to be in an hour 30. I just didn't actually comprehend how much of that was took by the line art. I guess... No. Oh, I actually didn't shade the nose. Let me go back to that. Whoopsies. I shaded it, but not how I usually would. I usually go second darkest shade on the whole of it. Darkest shade on the bottom part. That actually kind of makes him look like a clown. Fuck that. Yeah, we'll just... Yeah, that's a lot nicer. Second darkest shade, third darkest shade, yeah. See, I'm learning with you. Shirts, really, again, as I said, I have no fucking idea what I'm doing. Obviously, it'll go darker as you go down. And then also, if there's something covering it, that'll cause it to be dark. That doesn't look right. I think... No. No. There The scarf should cover it because the light's coming from the top left. The throw or whatever should actually cover it less. We'll just cover it like that. See, when you start to think about things, which usually I'm not thinking too much when I'm drawing because I'm not talking. I'm just doing my mind off. You might realize something that you should have been doing earlier. Just a little spike there, just for sake of adding a little something. Let's go shade darker. Even go bluish here. There we go. But it's not a science. That's what's nice. Cause I hate when things are fucking always about, oh, what's right, what's wrong. I just sometimes want to do something. I give a fuck about if it's the best or worst. And it's pretty, too. All the colors. Be a little more full. Real spiky shapes here. But I think it works. Smooth the gray to see how it's looking. I say it's looking pretty good. We just gotta get that throw done. And then this GN. We're done. I'm probably gonna do another one of these because it wasn't actually too bad. I like talking. Next time, I'll try doing the sketch. And explaining some things a bit better. No promises, though. I might get impatient and be like, oh, I want a sketch right now. Fuck you. With lighter colors, you don't want to darken it as much because it'll really contrast. With like the purple you see here, the blue, the dark purple is a lot darker than the lighter purple. But it doesn't matter because the purple in general is a lot darker. More to go. Et voila! We're done. Thank you for watching. Under an hour 30. I'd call that a success. We didn't run out of jazz music and the copyright-free video. Yeah. Have a good one. Thank you for watching. Tune in if there is another. As I said before, in case someone is skipping to the end of the video, I've been drawing people from a random wheel. Well, actually, let me give you a bonus. Whoop. Here is our wheel. I already have the next two people on the list decided, just so I like having them a bit in advance so I can get the sketches done. And I'm not like, oh well, I have no one to draw it now, and I don't have a ref, you know. But why don't we spin the wheel live, you know? If you want to get on the wheel, just comment your Discord IGN and tag or whatever, so I know who I need to ask for a ref for, should they be chosen. And I'll put you on the wheel. Yeah. If it's someone I don't like, I'm gonna have to redraw. Oh, fuck me. Worst day of my fucking life. Nah, I'm not gonna redraw Kashino just so I can redo the video and not have to draw Nappy 3. I don't mind Nappy 3, he's a funny fella. But it's good for the bit to be like, oh. But yeah. Comment. Also, just comment if you have any feedback. I think that I don't take YouTube very seriously, which I like. I like having this just garbage can I can dump anything in. But I would seriously like to know what people think of the content. This arguably isn't the most content, like, shmoney money idea I've ever had. But sometimes you can just be a bit more laid back, you know what I mean? But yeah, thank you for watching. And, see ya.